A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you are all well and fine. Students, in the previous tutorial we have studied about the Tughlaq dynasty. We have studied about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who was the son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Now in this tutorial we are going to cover some of the schemes which were introduced by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, but those schemes were failed because of his because all those schemes were impractical. Impractical means they were not sensible. So let's study the chapter. Okay students, now first of all, that scheme which was introduced by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was taxation in Doab. Doab, what is the meaning of the word Doab? Doab, it is the area of land between two rivers meet. Again I am speaking, the area of land means land is there between between two rivers and they meet. So taxation in Doab. In order to get more money for his military expeditions, Muhammad bin Tughlaq increased the land revenue in the fertile area of Doab. So in order to military expeditions means a long journey which is taken for a special purpose. So in order to support the military, what he had done, he had raised the land revenue in the Doab area, because it is a fertile area and people they will do the agriculture, yes, and then they can pay the revenue also. So that is why he increased the land revenue in this Doab area. But a famine occurred in the Doab area due to scarcity of rain. But this scheme, it was failed. Why? Because a famine occurred. Famine means a lack of food over a long period of time. That famine occurred due to the scarcity of rain. Now no agriculture was there, and now the people they refused to pay extra taxes to Muhammad bin Tughlaq and rebelled against him. Rebelled against means that they broke a violence against Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that they will not pay extra land revenue to him, because now there was scarcity of food also in that area due to the lack of rain. Now we will study shifting of the capital. Another scheme which was introduced by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was shifting of the capital. He shifted his capital from Devgiri to Delhi to Devgiri. Devgiri, which is now known as Daulatabad, and where it is? It is in Maharashtra. He thought that it would be easier to control the Deccan from Daulatabad. Why he shifted his capital? Because he wanted to control the Deccan area also. You know, the Deccan Plateau, so which is near the Maharashtra. So that is why he shifted his capital. This project also failed, as thousands of people and their cattle died on the way. So people, they also started shifting, but it was failed because many of the cattle which the people taking along with them died. It also became impossible to control North India, as Delhi and another thing it happened, that now North India side was not able to control, because the capital was shifted to Daulatabad. And safeguard the frontier. Safeguard means it became impossible to control North India also, and to protect the people from the dangers. Hence the Sultan ordered to shift the capital back to Delhi. This again caused hardships to people and claimed many lives. But because of these problems, again he shifted back his capital to Delhi, but it caused hardships. Hardships means that people, they suffered a lot in terms of money also, in terms of food also, so many things. So they have to suffer very hardships. And many people, they lost their lives. Now another scheme was introduction of token currencies. token currencies was first of all introduced by Muhammad bin Tughlaq in the history of India. In 1329, token currency was introduced to obtain more money. Why it was introduced? To have more exchange of money. The Sultan decided to issue token coins in brass and copper, having the same value as those of gold and silver. So what he had done? He had introduced token coins in brass metal, in brass, in copper, and those coins were having the same value as comparison to gold and silver. But he could not keep a check on illegal minting of coins. But again he failed in terms of illegal minting of coins. Minting means making coins. Now the people, they started making copper coins, brass coins at their homes only. The people began to mint copper coins at their homes. Why? Because he declared that brass and copper will have the same value as of gold and silver coins. Gold and silver currencies immediately disappeared from the market. Muhammad had to withdraw the scheme after payment of gold and silver coins in exchange of copper coins from treasury. So this also scheme failed of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, what are the other visionary plans of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Muhammad bin Tughlaq planned 2 expeditions. Expeditions here means a long journey which is done for special purpose. That is called expeditions. One to China and other to Persia. But both the expeditions failed. But these 2 expeditions, which was done with some special motive, that also failed due to his poor judgment, and it caused a great loss to the treasury. So these 2 expeditions also failed because of his poor judgment, that he was not able to see the expeditions properly, and it was a loss to his treasury. Now another ruler of Tughlaq dynasty was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. He ruled from 1351 AD to 1388 AD. Firoz Shah Tughlaq was a cousin of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So who was Firoz Shah Tughlaq? Cousin. He became into power after the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a pious Muslim. Pious means that he was having a deep belief in his religion. As some people are there, those who believe in too much in religions. Yes. So he was having also a deep belief in his religion. He followed all the rules and regulations, laws, Islamic laws. So that is why he was called as a pious Muslim. He allowed the Orthodox ulemas to influence state policy in certain matters. Ulemas are known as Muslim scholars. So those ulemas who believed in Muhammad Tughlaq's Islamic laws, so he told them that to change some state according to the Islamic laws. Firoz Shah Tughlaq was a reformer. Reformer means a person who tries to change society and make better. That is the meaning of the word reformer. And was much concerned about the welfare of his subjects. So he was also very much concerned regarding the welfare. What he had done, he built many canals from the Satluj and Yamuna rivers. He also built a number of ponds and dug hundreds of wells. Yes, for his subjects, so that they can easily get the water facilities. He set up hospitals for free treatment of the people, built rest houses, and opened a separate department for charity. So much welfare, yes, was done by Firoz Shah Tughlaq for his subjects. Firoz Shah Tughlaq was a great builder also. He built towns like Firozpur. These were the towns like Firozpur, which was built in Punjab, Jaunpur, Firozabad in UP, Hisar, it is also a name of town which is built in Haryana, and he also built 1200 gardens in Delhi. Firoz Shah was interested in ancient culture of India. He got a number of religious and philosophical books written in Sanskrit translated in Persian and Arabic languages. So he was very much, he was having a deep interest in the ancient culture of India, and whatever the Sanskrit books he got, he translated them into Persian and Arabic languages. The disintegration of the dynasty began with his death in 1388 AD. But after his death, this Tughlaq dynasty started disintegrated. Disintegrated means it started breaking. Many regions became independent. Now every region it became independent. Different now rulers are there. It was not now it was not in a united form. It was separated. It was disintegrated. Timur, the Turk ruler of Samarkand, invaded India in 1398 and attacked and destroyed Delhi. So, after the disintegration, Timur, who was a Turk ruler of Samarkand, he invaded India and he destroyed Delhi. See the picture of Timur. Now students, another dynasty which we are going to start today is Sayyid dynasty, which ruled from 1414 AD to 1451 AD. Khizr Khan founded the Sayyid dynasty. Who founded the Sayyid dynasty? Khizr Khan. He was a general of Timur. So he was general means he was under the Timur, the Mongol king. Khizr Khan was appointed as a deputy of Timur in India. Alam Shah, the last ruler of Sayyid dynasty. So, who started the Sayyid dynasty? Khizr Khan. And who was the last ruler of Sayyid dynasty? Alam Shah. Was defeated Bahlul Lodi, the governor of Lahore. So, after Sayyid dynasty, which dynasty started? Lodi dynasty. And who defeated the Sayyid dynasty? Bahlul Lodi. So, when Alam Shah was defeated, Sayyid dynasty was finished and a new dynasty emerged, and the name of that dynasty was the Lodi dynasty, which ruled from 1451 AD to 1526 AD. The Lodi dynasty had greater achievements than the Tughlaqs and the Sayyids. So, who had achieved greater achievements? It was Lodi dynasty. Yes, who achieved greater achievements. Until this period, all the rulers of the Sultanate were of Turkish origin. The Lodis, however, were Afghans. So this Tughlaqs and Sayyid dynasties, they were the people from the Turkish origin. But Lodis, they were basically from the Afghans. Alam Shah, the last Sayyid ruler, voluntarily abdicated throne in favor of Bahlul Lodi. Students, now we will study Bahlul Lodi, which ruled from 1451 AD to 1489 AD. So, who was the first Lodi ruler? Bahlul Lodi. He tried to consolidate the disintegrated Sultanate. Consolidate means he tried to disintegrate the Sultanate, the Delhi Sultanate. He removed rebellious governors and appointed loyal Afghan nobles as governors of important provinces. So what he had done, he had removed all the governors, rebellious governors, those who will raise the violence. So he removed all those rebellious governors and appointed the loyal governors. At the time of his death, the Sultanate stretched from Punjab to Bihar. So whatever he had done, it helped him in stretching the Sultanate from Punjab to Bihar. So students, we have covered the slave dynasty, Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, and we are now studying the last dynasty, that is Lodi dynasty. So the rest we will continue in the next tutorial. Till then, read the chapter very carefully. Meet you in the next tutorial. Have a good day.